All right, here we go, everyone. Here we go. Oh, I wanted to share my screen differently, but we got everybody on right now, right away. We got Show Me Retro, Glen, or Show Me Retro, Glen's Retro Show, and TurboJoe. I thought we'd get this party pumped up with a little bit of AC/DC. But all right, guys, let's get you guys showing up here, and we'll get started right away on this. Let's first say hello to Show Me Retro. For those of you who don't know him, he is a YouTuber. You just got to look him up by Show Me Retro. His name is Pat. What's going on, Pat?
What is up, guys? Glad to be here. I'm pumped, man. Let's do this.
All right. And then we have TurboJoe, who also has a YouTube channel. If you guys don't know him, it's TurboJoe. Name is Joe. What's up, Joe?
What's going on? And well, thank you for having me on the show, Rexer. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Now, Joe, I got to bust your balls for a second here. I watch your show, and man, there's some drama every once in a while on your show, and I want to warn these people that maybe tuning into your channel. Now, being politically correct, Joe, being politically correct without naming names and everything, what will you explain this drama stuff you got going on in your channel, man? What is the deal? And is it going to be an end anytime? You and level one. Level one's on here. I gotta.
Well, normally I tend to stay away from drama, but every now and then, sometimes you just get pulled into it, or you feel inclined to have to protect, or defend another YouTube buddy. So that's kind of like how I got in the mix with it. But it's normally I tend to stay away from the drama. But in recent, weeks or so, there's been a little bit of it, and every now and then people kind of like that stuff anyway. So.
That's the thing. People love the drama. Now, Glen's Retro Show, you're not going to get any drama on Glen's Retro Show. You're just going to get the facts, right, Glen? What's going on?
Right now, Vader's been force choking me a little bit. Excuse me.
He's all pissed off. He didn't get his pre-order yet. It's not my fault, man. It's FedEx. Chill.
That was Darth. That was a horrible synthesizer for Darth Vader. Is all I can tell you.
Well, I did kick him in the bearings before, so I had to defend myself.
That was awful. So, guys, before we get started, I usually, while people join, I want to talk about something really quick that's been bothering me, and I want to know what you guys, because I'm feeling old, okay? And my brother-in-law, who are younger, and my sister. They come into my house the other day and they're constantly on their phones like everybody else. And I go, what are you watching, man? And I'm like, what is so interesting? And all they are on is TikTok. Do you guys know TikTok? And I'll start with you, Show Me Retro. What do you know about TikTok and why the hell is it so famous?
I know what it is. I have daughters, so I know what TikTok is. As far as Am I on TikTok? No,
Yes.
I am not. I didn't get in on the ground floor. I'm barely on Facebook. I'm barely on Twitter. So, you know, I get it. Kids love it, but no, it's not something that I follow.
TurboJoe, you have a TikTok?
I have a TikTok account. I guess I do. Actually, over the last year, my sister, who's only a few years younger than me, she started a TikTok channel, and she's been telling me, "Oh, you got to go on there. You love it, blah blah blah." So eventually, and my wife is like addicted to it as well. So every now and then, she'll show me a funny TikTok,
Oops,
and I'm
sorry.
all right. And then I kind of got sucked into it myself. It's actually pretty ingenuous. Yes.
Yeah. Now, Glenn, I would be shocked if you had a TikTok, but maybe your kid does.
Well, I do have a TikTok, but you're talking about the channel? Or you're talking about my TikTok? What are we talking about here?
Not your ticker.
All right,
Not a watch,
So-
Glenn.
I know of it. I have not really got on it much. My coworkers are on it all the time. So I hear what you're saying, and they're watching something hysterical on there. But I'm not on there yet. But maybe I will. I don't know. My son is on it quite a bit.
Yeah.
They're fascinated by it.
Yeah, I'm not any of that stuff, guys. Very, very little, not even Facebook. So, oh, all right. Anyway, we'll get off of that, and we're going to start. Well, let's just so you guys who are watching, who are new, we're going to talk about a few topics: OutRun, 1UP, AtGames, and then we have another little part of the show on a new, well, not new unit, but I'm going to let Show Me Retro talk about it when we get to it. But it's going to be on the what was it again? The PartyCade. Show me.
Yes, it's an 8-in-1 PartyCade. It's exclusive to QVC, and it's a mixed bag. Let's put it that way.
Okay,
I don't know.
Save it for then.
if you wanna-
Save it for then when we get to it. I don't want to give away, spill all the beans right now, but we're going to talk about that. But first, guys, and then we'll do trivia. By the way, I got a new trivia segment for everybody. It's going to be pretty fun.
Nice.
What I want to talk about first, though, guys, is the AtGames this Legends Core, and if you guys, I'll share my screen here I know everybody's seen a lot of this stuff, but since we got new guys here and we have a new panel here, we can get some different feedback here on this Legends Core. And we'll start with Show Me Retro. I asked you guys to take a look at this. It's basically the Legends puck, they call it. It's got 100 games in it. You can add your own games. It's basically the Legends, just the Legends Ultimate, the guts, the PCB. What do you think about this? And is this something that you would ever use instead of a Pi or something else? Does this interest you?
Me personally, no. I mean, it looks like an Echo Dot or something. I know you have one, right, Glenn? Or I mean, Rex, you actually
I
have
do
one
not
of
have one. I don't have that one. We're going to talk about what I have next.
Okay.
But no, I do not have one. Glenn, do you have one of these?
I don't, but I do like what they are doing. They're simply trying to hit all the different price demographics to get them into their gated garden, like Apple. Except Apple does it with all expensive stuff. They're just trying to get you into that Legends family. You start with something very inexpensive, and then eventually, hopefully, you'll work your way up. So I do like it for what it is. It's just basically a way to get your foot in the door.
Yeah. So Show Me Retro. You're not interested. You're not buying it for $50.
No, it's not something I would buy.
Okay. TurboJoe, what do you think of this thing? Well, first of all, Turbo, I feel like you do a lot of real console gaming. You're not doing a lot of emulation from what I see on your channel. Is that correct? And would this interest you because it's all emulation?
I think it's a pretty cool idea for some gamers, but for me, I already have an established retro collection. I pretty much have most of my consoles from my childhood, so I kind of just play using them, or and I have a HDMI adapter so I can play them on my HD TV.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm pretty much set my ways. So something like this is pretty cool, but like Show Me Retro said, it could be like a good gateway to bringing people back into playing retro games. Nice and easy,
Yeah,
you don't have to spend a lot of money. I
think it's interesting because it gives you the games, it gives you the option to, add your own games. It's pretty simple. It's almost more simpler. Well, it is than a Raspberry Pi or anything of that nature. And people in the chat, I mean, if you do Pis and stuff like this, this kind of is for the lesser Pi user, in my opinion.
Right.
You can
it's
your
not
games.
a Pi replacement. If you're a Raspberry Pi guy, this is not a replacement. However, if you have never got into Raspberry Pi, you think it's too complicated, that's what this thing is going to get you at least into. A little easier to get to those games, but it is in no way a Pi replacement.
Yeah. But it gives you that Legends ecosystem as well, which was interesting to me. It gives you all those options. Now, Glenn, I'm going to contrast this because they have the Connect. And I got a Connect, Glenn. Do you have one?
I have mine
Glenn,
too.
you don't have it, Glenn.
I do. I certainly do. I got mine on Wednesday. Mine arrives.
Okay. All right. I knew you had one, Glenn, because we're going to do this contest, but
Yeah, I feel kind of bad having to beat you in the game. I'm sorry.
That's all right, Glenn. Maybe I'll throw it. Maybe I'll throw the contest just so you can win it and not cry. But here's the thing, guys, is I don't know everything about this Legends Connect and what it can do and what what it can't do and how it's different from this core. It seems to me like at first glance, this thing, is not for the general, gamer who wants to just plug and play. This thing, there's some work that needs to be done with this. Now, for those out there, I just want to show you this is a Pi. I think that this is a 2B actually. It's the only one I didn't have. But look how big this thing is. It's pretty big for a single
and larger
board
power
computer.
requirements. So Pi is going to use 5 volts, and that Legends Connect uses 12 volts. So there's a big difference there, but supposedly more horsepower. So if you are into hacking and building something, you might have more potential for more games on the Connect. Again, we just got them. I mean, Rex just got yours. I think Cool Toy got his. So this is like the first stages of doing something with this thing. So there's potential. So if you're a modder and you like Pis and you wanted to get into the the Legends ecosystem like we talked about, there's potential there. It's inexpensive. And there's it's a version of GPIOs around there, easier to get to. So we'll have to see. That's what the competition is all about, to kind of see what can be done with this thing. Right.
Now, TurboJoe, no emulation, no Pis, nothing like that.
Well, I do. I have my PlayStation Classic is hacked. I use Bluetooth Mini. Wait, that's not the Bluetooth. What's it called? I forget the name of it.
It's True Blue.
It's basically
True Blue.
I'm sorry. True Blue. Yeah, the
Mini?
True Blue Mini pack. So I collect those. You're familiar with them, the USB drives.
Yeah.
So I mean, other than that, I use a Retrobit Trio to play my original hardware as far as like my original software, cartridge based. I use the Retrobit Trio, but past like the 16-bit era, I have all my consoles like PS2, PS3, PS4.
Yeah. Now show me. You got any Pis in your arcade 1-ups or anything like that?
No, not at the moment. It's definitely something that I'm probably gonna go get to. My Marvel is a 6-button, so that's probably going to happen. It's just I've spent a lot. I buy these at retail price. We're talking $500 plus. Then the Pi, you got to upgrade. Possibly screens but there's a lot more involved. So if I was getting this at $75 or $50 at Walmart, I'd go to town on them. But it's just a big expense when you've already got $400 to $500 in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay. All right. What I want to move on to, guys, is pinball. Everybody wants to talk about pinball. So let's talk about Arcade 1-Up and the 3 pinball machines. And everybody in the chat, when the lineup for Attack from Mars came out, I was like, oh man, this is the best one. So I'm going to start with you, Glenn. Out of the 3, the Star Wars, the Marvel, the Attack from Mars, which one's the best one, and which one would you get if you had to buy one? And Glenn, you can name some of the games on there. I don't have it listed right now, and I also want to know if I heard they took off Funhouse and that. So just give me your thoughts on the pinball.
Whoa.
Yeah, it looks like they took that out, and I'm also disappointed that the Wi-Fi connectivity is not there either. That was kind of touted early on the tables, but for me, it'd be a toss-up really between Attack from Mars and Marvel, only because the Kathleen Kennedy edition of Star Wars on half that machine, I won't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Mm-hmm.
I won't touch it with that artwork on there. I won't.
It's got Ray on there.
TurboJoe, what are your thoughts on the best one? And guys in the chat again, what is the best one out of the 3?
I mean, it would be a cross between Star Wars and Marvel, but I'm a humongous Star Wars fan, so definitely. And I actually played most of the Zen Pinball Star Wars games that are going to be preloaded on that cabinet. It's definitely something I want. I'm very excited for it, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be pre-ordering it or just getting it right after Christmas, since it's coming out December 15th, I think.
Yeah. Show me Retro, your favorite?
It's definitely Attack from Mars, but I was unaware of the the removing of Funhouse. So this is news to me right now. I'm learning something right now live on the air. So it's disappointing. It really is. I don't know, man. That was the one that it was my favorite. So.
Well, it still has good
There
games.
may
It's got
be-
Whitewater. It's got Getaway. It's got Medieval Madness, right? I mean, it's got a great lineup. When I saw that, I was like, oh man, this is almost,
Right, but-
taking the place of the AtGames, of me getting the AtGames just because of the lineup. Not that if I could,
Well-
if I can play them on other things, then the lineup really doesn't matter. But
we were texting, and what was my text to you was Funhouse is on there. That was my thing.
yeah,
So
It
with that
was.
removed,
it was
It
supposed
was.
to be,
so
but
I don't know. Maybe now I'm kind of a wait and see. I mean, what's going to take its place? Do we know that?
No,
they didn't say the 10th game, Glenn. I don't remember.
No.
Or what.
no, not that I'm aware. But like I said, it was announced initially, and then I think Zen is kind of what like maybe put the kibosh on it because it's too new a table, I guess, and they didn't want to put it on there yet. Maybe it'd be a downloadable pack later on, but again, it's not over Wi-Fi, so I don't know how they would do it. But
Yeah.
it is
what a-
disappointing.
But what a great, I mean, One Up knocked it out of the park with this one. I mean, they did a good job here. They put a good lineup on it. The artwork's good. Everything is good with this thing for One Up. So you got to like it, right?
As long as you put
Yeah.
the Star Wars cabinet on the left side of a wall, yes.
Yes,
The right
okay,
side can be
yeah.
seen.
All right. All right. So now we talk about the good. We're going to talk about OutRun in a second, guys. But first, Show Me Retro. We got to talk about the bad of Arcade One Up. And some of the bad is this video that you just did, Show Me Retro. And if you guys haven't seen it, go see it. It's about the PartyCade 8-in-1. And you told me something that I didn't even know, but I'm going to let you lead, and I'm going to try and bring up your video here so we can just watch a little bit of it. So go ahead and tell the audience what we're talking about here.
Okay, so basically, I get the 8-in-1 PartyCade. It's got 8 games versus 4, which the HSN had, and the lineup was good. Just out of the box, it was good. This is pre-modding it or whatever. So there were some games like Xevious and Mappy that had never been on an Arcade One Up cabinet. So I got it. The price was good. I mean, it shipped at $205 after tax and everything. But as soon as I played Xevious, I noticed that I was like struggling, and the cabinet was actually moving on the wall because I was forcing myself to move in a direction that it wouldn't move. And that would be because of the gate restricts you. There's a 4-way square gate that's turned in a way that you can't move diagonal. So that's a problem. It's a huge problem. So one of the games on here, really, you just can't play properly.
Yeah. And you show that right about here. I want to make a point of this is,
Yeah,
if you
so
guys
there-
can see that.
So you
And this
see
is
the
something-
prelim-
I would say this is something that should have been checked in the testing phase. That this game would
Exactly.
not work properly with
Absolutely.
unlocking a 4-way gate. It should have been checked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, well,
absolutely.
no question.
And who's making that decision to put a game on there that nobody even checked? I mean, did anybody check it? Who made the go ahead? Yeah, sure. We'll put that on there. I don't know. I don't know who makes
Yeah.
that decision.
Yeah. So here's there's a bunch to say here, first of all. Now, I'll get to exactly what I want to say. But first, I want to, TurboJoe, you don't have any one-ups, but you were very tempted to try and get a one-up. You say you want one. Tell me about your experience or what people say about one-up from your perspective.
The thing with one-ups is that they're not full-size arcade cabinets. Not everyone has the space to have more than one. So if the one-up arcade cabinet is something that you want, you're gonna be very hesitant to buy one because maybe a year or two down the road it may be one that you want even more and you just don't have the space for it. My biggest problem with arcade one-up is that they don't put enough games on there. I mean, 3 to 5 games, 8 games is okay, but put like 20 on there, if in my opinion. And I think more people would consider that it's more about the space investment than it is the money investment for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and guys, here's one thing I want to say. I want to use this as just a little tutorial so people can understand a little bit about four-way gates, eight-way gates, what we're exactly talking here, because people might not understand a little bit. And I'm going to make this quick because you can go on YouTube and Google all this stuff and kind of get some information. But what I want to say to people is, I only know what I know because of other people have told me, at least 50, to 80% of it. The rest, maybe I've dove in myself and figured a lot of stuff out myself. But sometimes you just got to have people tell you something, in order to understand it. So what happened here was, if you look at this gate, it's positioned in a diagonal state. And remember, when we talk about gates, they're really, you really refer to them as four-way, eight-ways, or octagonals. When people say four-way gate, well, a four-way gate is usually just a gate that's a square gate that's turned on a diagonal, so you can see that the pins will only hit the left, right, up, and down. It's still an eight-way joystick, but the gate is obviously restricting it from being an eight-way, and it's only a four-way. So what bothered me about OneUp is they sent you this, and you shared me with this, Pat. They sent you this little response here, and they go on to say, oh, thank you for, sorry, seriously, we didn't know. You didn't know that you put an eight-way diagonal game on there? And then they say, with that said, if you haven't bought a part, we do have available for you either an octagon gate or an eight-way joystick. Well, why would you send me an eight-way joystick? Don't you know that it's already an eight-way joystick? Unless, guys, now I understand that maybe the joystick was engineered where only that one type of housing in a diagonal position would fit on it. I understand that concept. But when you're getting knockoffs, you really don't know what you're getting kind of and what will fit on it. So you don't know what gate is actually going to work on it. And show me, you bought the gate. I'm not saying it's not going to fit. You're confident it is because you've done it before on their joysticks. But just know that, well, why would you send me an eight-way joystick if it's already an eight-way joystick? It's the gate that's really the problem. So here's my problem with OneUp in this fashion. They don't know. They didn't know that this eight-way game was on the arcade. Oh man, that's rough. I mean, nobody's testing this. But weeks before, guys, we see how they're looking for people to test stuff, right? You remember that? They're looking for people to hire to test stuff. Let's hire people. Let's do. So they hired, I forget his name, Wong or something like that. He's a Street Fighter expert, right? Do you remember that, Glenn? Have you seen that?
Oh, yes, I definitely remember that.
Okay. So they hire this Wong guy. Glenn, is Wong going to know that Xevious needs an eight-way diagonal joystick, or is he going to know how to pull off, Blanca's super move on Street Fighter Alpha 2? Which one is he going to know,
Well, you got to do a Hadouken when you're in Xevious. I mean, how do you launch your missiles? Right. Hadouken! That's what you got to do. But to be honest, I don't know him at all, other than his championship, scores in the fighting games. I don't know him at all. I can't say whether he would or wouldn't know. I can only say that I offered my services to Arcade OneUp over the past 2 years. And I was told, yeah, we're going to have you on. And it's 2 years later, and they're still going through these steps. And I don't feel bad anymore, only because I've offered. I said, listen, no charge. Just let me see what you guys got, and I give you my free advice to help you guys out. Tell them I want to just help you out. And after 2 years, I've kind of given up. They're telling me, oh, don't worry, it's still coming. I don't even care. I don't care anymore. Yeah. I'm still a fan of Arcade OneUp, and I'm friends with them. But when it comes to the testing, I mean, I've had conversations with Scott, and I truly believe Scott means the best. I really truly believes he's trying to do the right thing. But if you don't have the proper people testing the stuff, you don't have the proper people going over before it's deployed, and you send it out, the community can't always be your beta tester because it's only hurting yourself in the long run. I mean, think about when Arcade OneUp first came out with the spinner and the issue they had with the machines, right? We gave them some slack because they were the first guys on the block. They're doing things inexpensively to get these machines in our houses, right? We're now 2 years in, and we're still getting those repeated mistakes. There comes a point in time where you say, you know what? We gave you guys plenty of chances. Your prices have gone up. I mean, these machines are not $299 anymore. Yeah. They're $399.
Glenn, did you know of this Xevious? Did you know of this one? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't even know that Xevious was on that particular machine. I don't watch QVC. I do not want to watch QVC.
I don't watch. Well, no, I had a question for Glenn. Glenn, what game Namco could have put, or Arcade OneUp could have put any other Namco game on there that would have worked with that four-way, couldn't they?
Mappy.
I mean,
Throw Mappy on there.
Well, no,
Mappy's on there.
Mappy is on there, but there's still so many other games that could have taken Xevius's place that would have worked with the gate that was on there. Is kind of my point. I mean, Rolling Thunder could have been on there.
Right.
I don't know, just to name one, but I'm sure that
Could have put the Dig Dugs on there, the second one, whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
They could have did something like that. I agree. I mean, if you're going to put these games on there has to be some concept of what is required. Like, the reason I do what I do when I make these controllers is I feel that the person playing the game needs to have the right controller to have the right experience with the game. That's the whole reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. So when I see things like this, where there's no thought put into it, you're selling the product, you're supposed to have a passion for it. And that's the whole point of Arcade 1-Up. They're supposed to have a passion. We built communities around it. We built people doing artwork and modders around all this stuff. The company's got to have some passion for these games, not just throw something on there and push it out. You got to know what you're putting out there.
Here's the other thing, though. Now, TurboJoe, you're not an arcade enthusiast to the point of like me or somebody like that, or a lot of the people who are watching. But you are a retro gamer and you like that stuff. But would you have known about the Xevious issue, or somebody mentioned a Burger Time issue? You don't know about those issues, do you? Unless I would have said it or not. I don't know.
That's a big, game changer. I spent $200 on that, multi-cab little unit, and I'd be really pissed if one of the games are, basically unplayable, without the 8 directions.
Yeah.
But I was a huge arcade enthusiast in the 90s. That's why I love the Sega Genesis, because it's like your arcade, console. I collect the little guys. I have about a dozen of these little ones. So I'm a big time arcade enthusiast, but like I mentioned earlier, I'm really limited with space. So if I'm going to buy a 1-Up, it's got to be really special. I definitely want one down the road.
But you guys in the audience,
buy the
you
Star
see my
Wars,
point?
Joe. Buy the Star Wars.
Star Wars is a thumbs up. Hey, Vader agrees, and so does Tarkin. Star Wars is a good one, but also New Wave Toys, man. New Wave Toys makes foot tall, fantastic machines. That Dragon's Lair I just got, it's fantastic. So if you have a space problem, go with New Wave Toys.
Yeah, they're a little bit smaller, but
Street Fighter 2 one, I just bought it. So I'm
fantastic, isn't it? Oh, it's a back order.
I'm back order, so it's about, let's say, a 4 to 6 week wait. So
it'll be worth it.
Yeah,
it'll be worth it. It's fantastic.
But somebody in the chat earlier mentioned about Code Mystics, right? Or what do you call them, Glenn? Code Magic or Code Masters?
Yeah,
whatever
I did. Yeah, I did.
Anyway, but my point was that the general public doesn't know about these issues and they don't care. Where I sit here and I find that we find the finer details and we get mad at them. The general public, they don't care, right? I mean, they don't know.
Think of the people who didn't know, and they're playing Xevious, and they're trying to play the game, and they're getting, it's not an easy game. Xevious is a great game, but it's not an easy game. Now imagine you're locked into left, up, and down only. You need diagonals in that game. Think of the frustration level that people are going to have.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, we do know that, but the company should as well. When the consumer buys that product, it should do and play the games where they're meant to be played. And I just, I love them. I love all those guys. They're my friends, and they're probably going to be mad at me, but we've given lots of time for you guys. We're willing to help you guys. It just seems like it's falling on deaf ears a lot. They keep saying we're doing it, but here we go again.
Yeah. Yeah. No question. So, and it goes back to the Burger Time a little bit when somebody mentioned it's not the exact same thing as Burger Time, but what everybody wanted to do with the Burger Time was change it from an 8-way or octagonal gate to a 4-way gate. And I was like, you can't do that. Those other two games technically need an 8-way directional stick, but okay, let's get on to Code Mystics. Now we talk about OutRun. Now, Glenn or whoever, Code Mystics is doing OutRun for 1-Up.
That I don't know. Except I did not pre-order the OutRun. I like OutRun. It's not my favorite game. I'd rather see pole position, virtual racing, pole position, super sprint. Those are the games I would have bought. For me, OutRun it's okay. I mean, it's a Sega game. It's just not for me. So I don't know who did it. However, Arcade 1-Up would not have been smart not to use them, because every console that they've been working code on has been really, really fantastic. And I can't see why they would not have used them. Okay,
let's go to TurboJoe. I want to know what you think of the OutRun come. Now, the one on the right is the Arcade 1-Up. What are your thoughts on this, TurboJoe? What do you think? Is this a buyable unit? Did this interest you? Would this be one that you buy? And everybody in the chat, I want to know the same thing.
Well, I enjoyed OutRun back in the arcades. I don't know if I'd buy this one. I would need if I'm going to buy a racing cabinet, it would be like a sit-down unit. I just don't, unless I was playing, like what Glenn mentioned, Super Sprint, But
Yeah.
I would have to sit down for a game like
Well,
OutRun.
they do have a,
it does have a
sit-down
sit-down
version.
It's
They do.
a sit-down version. They do have, and the upright is coming out later, right, Glenn? It's coming out later in the month.
Correct. Yep.
Or year, whenever. But so it does have a sit-down, but the sit-down is different than the ones you're probably used to, TurboJoe.
Do they, I didn't really do too much research on the OutRun machine. Are they going to be packing in any more racing games?
There's 4 games on them. There's 4. There's OutRun, OutRunners, Power Drift, and Turbo OutRun. All the ones that, are good, but I really think they needed OutRun 2 on there. But that's just my opinion. So you're getting 4 games on this machine.
The thing is, you give me OutRun, and then what happens a year or 2 later, then Daytona comes out. Then I'd be really annoyed that I bought OutRun, and I have limited space. So that's probably why I'd be too afraid to invest in the size, the size of that cabinet. And then
Now you're thinking. Now you're thinking. Now you're thinking, Joe. Now I like the way your mind's going on that one. All right, show me retro. Yeah. Okay. So show me retro. I know you got a lot of things to say about this one. Go ahead. Let her rip on this. And I think you want me to bring back the other slide.
How much time do I got? Are you going to bring on the Oscar music if I go?
You got like 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. I'll bring back up this one.
All right. First, I want to applaud Arcade One Up first for doing this, because nobody's doing a 3/4 scale, driving cab. Okay, so it looks great in my opinion. From a distance, it's like that classic car that looks great, but then you get up to it and then you're like, oh my god. But from a distance, it looks really good. Except for the missing Sega logo. That's another issue. Why is the Sega logo missing from that graphic? But get your wife with her cricket machine and make that and slap it on there, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Here's my problem. Okay, so you're putting this wheel onto this control panel, and as we know, Arcade One-Ups aren't the most stable, and people that own them. I mean, even like a fighting cabinet, you're going to get some shake when you get to moving. So can you imagine, like, you at 6'4" and Michael B, the Game Genie, taking this thing and treating it like a rental car on vacation? Can you imagine that cabinet? There's no weight, there's no CRT, there's very thin wood. So I just see this thing really like a toy, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't think of that actually, but it's funny you say that. I hate to cut you off, but because when I was at CES, they had all their one-ups lined up, and all these one-up or not one-up guys, but people who weren't one-up people were playing the machines. And I remember this one guy was playing just Galaga, and the whole thing was shaking. He was going left, right, and I'm like, calm down, dude. And then he walks away and he goes, "Oh man, I love playing Galaga." I was like, "Oh God."
Well, the one thing I'll say to this is the steering wheel, and I'm guessing here, totally guessing, is probably using the same type of tech as their Star Wars yoke, and the machine is pretty stable. So I don't think that'll have a problem with it rocking too bad.
I don't know. It's just not heavy though, Glenn. The machine isn't heavy.
Yeah,
it's not heavy. These things wobble no matter what.
But here's my issue too. Here's the second point I wanted to make. No one is mentioning force feedback. And when I think of OutRun, I first think of the Ferrari Testarossa, then I think of the branching paths, but then I remember it was the first game that really shook. I remember, like, just a few weeks ago, I was at the National Video Game Museum and I played this in their arcade, and that one shook so much that I thought it was going to pull my arm out of socket. And that's what I remember. And this is not going to have this. And I don't think, I guess they can't do it for maybe a good cost, but I just think any kind of rumble at all would be better than nothing, in my opinion.
Well, you could build a rumble and a controller for $14, so they could throw a motor in there that's out of balance.
Yeah, I don't.
Really? $14, that's it.
I don't know, Glenn. When you're talking about, if you guys remember OutRun, when that driver went off the road, that thing shook like a mofo, man. That thing had a motor in it, right? Show me retro. That's what we were saying.
Oh yeah,
man, it was violent. It was like, oh my gosh, this thing. He's off the road.
Yeah,
but you got to take the violence down to 3/4 scale.
Yeah, I understand that. But you need the not now. Remember, they came out with like 4 different models, and one of them didn't have force feedback. And I want to go back to this picture. But let me ask Turbo Joe. Do you remember the force feedback, man, when the steering wheel shook? Do you think that's a huge selling factor?
I vaguely remember it, but yes, I remember it was something it was something that you never forget. Your first experiences with force feedback, it was a pretty cool,
yeah,
gimmick.
Because was it one of the first, Glenn? I mean, I know the original force feedback was through, NASA and doing, simulations, and that's how it all came about.
The first game I actually remember that actually had steering force feedback that I can remember was VR Racing from Sega. This simply had a rumble. Like you said, it was just a vibrating, motor with a counterweight out of balance. It just shook when you did that. There wasn't any steering wheel pull that I can remember, unless I'm wrong. But Virtual Racing was the first game I actually remember. When you turned, it would pull the wheel in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I remember Daytona being like one of the most memorable of the racing force feedback games. That was really
big too.
Yeah,
but that was more,
like the steering wheel. You felt the force in like turning the wheel, going to a turn. Yeah.
And if he was drifting,
he's talking about a steering wheel. Relax, man. He's not talking about the force where you shut up.
He's not talking about the force. Oh, you in the Star Wars. But when he if you were drifting, you might have felt a little quiver, and it was different. But one thing I want to make clear here is, Glenn, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to be that easy to take the hardware that's in a 1-up and add a force feedback steering wheel. No,
you could do it, but the software is not going to support it. So if the program doesn't support that call to do it, it won't matter.
Yes, it's not like MAME where you have a force feedback plugin and you can add a steering wheel and then you have the force feedback. So if you're going to mod this thing, you're going to add force feedback. You should. So,
right. Or you have your kid shake the wheel when you crash the car.
Shake the wheel.
Right. But Rexer, here, you buy this, your day one purchase on this, and then 2 months later, Costco gets a model that's a stand-up, not a sit-down, but a stand-up with force feedback. How ticked are you going to be?
Right. Okay, let me move on to my points here too, guys. I want to make something clear, and they said this on Super Game Room, dude. I want you guys to look at the pedal here, and then I want you to look at the pedal on a sit-down. Okay, now I know you're sitting lower and it's a little different, but the pedals are vertical and not horizontal like this. So when I look at this machine, I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be, and I know I'm tall, but I'm not, I'm speaking in the general public. It's going to be like you're playing on a piano. Your feet, your knees are going to be kind of bent a lot. You're not going to have any back support. And picture when you get into your car next time, put the pedals underneath your steering wheel. Imagine the pedals right underneath your steering wheel. Is that going to be a comfortable ride when you're driving your car? No, I don't think so. So I'm not sure about the ergonomics of this machine too. The steering wheels kind of tilt pretty far. But okay, the last...
Well, when people made their own cabs, their own driving cabs, I mean, the Arcade 1-Up has the beer, the fridge area. I would have figured they would have took that cavity and put the pedals more inside that cavity.
Right.
That's me.
Yeah, recess it. I don't know either why they didn't. But here's the other thing I want to say, and I want to bring up a quick thing here because I like to show my fans and people some stuff here. So the other thing that's going to be important, Glenn, which we always talk about, guys, is the dip switches, right? We always talk about the dip switches. And if you have a kid and you want to do the dip switch, you want to maybe move it down, move the dip switches down. Here's a picture of the dip switches, or the timer, because you don't want the timer to run out, or you don't want as many enemies. I think they need to have the dip switch available because I think this is going to be a family thing.
Rexer, it is there. I've got confirmation from Retro Ralph. It is going to be there.
Oh, they are going to have the dip switch settings here. Good. The game difficulty, so you can go from normal to.
There's going to be scanline settings. There's going to be dip switch settings, and there's supposed to be an Easter egg that John D would not reveal. So, and it's not force feedback. And it's not force feedback.
Two main ones though are time and enemies, and you can see here I couldn't figure out how to get down to the one, but as you switch them in MAME, they'll switch to what you want it to. But those are the ones. And because what if they set it to hard on accident or easy or too easy? You want to have access to that so you can get in there and you can revise your game. So that's good. I didn't see Ralph show today or see, so I'm glad that somebody confirmed it. And with Code Mystics, that's just something that I would expect as well. I would hope, because did they kind of do it for NBA Jam? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Code Mystics is like done everything right. With
well, they did the NBA Jam, but I don't remember how much dip switch.
They did Star Wars, so they did all that scan lines, and there's difficulty settings, things like that.
Okay. All right, so let's we got to move on because we're running late here, and I want to get Easter egg is going to be another driving game. That's what somebody says here. He's going to be Rumble Pack to put it in. Anything Code Mystics does gives you scan lines and dip switches. That's what I thought too as well. So I'm happy about that we'll get that. Okay. So guys, we're going to do our trivia now. I'm going to do something different here. And, but first, I'm going to do a quick box art trivia for our audience, and they're going to be able to, answer this first, and then you're going to be able to win a gift card or something. I'm going to give you guys a gift card. You'll see when I get to the next thing of how this is going to work. Now, if Twilight Zone is watching this, I think his name is Twilight Zone. I forgot to give him a gift card, or at least on one of my shows, I forgot to do the prize. So write me Twilight in this thing, and I'll get you hooked up. Okay, so people who follow my show, if you know how I do this, I start showing a piece of box art. And the first one to answer it in what I see in my chat, what I see in the stream, will be the winner. So here we go, guys. Just name this game, and you guys in the, and my guests, do not answer. Do not say anything. Don't give hints. Okay. I just want to know who the first one that gets it right is. So here we go, guys. I'm just going to start showing pieces of the puzzle. We'll start with that one. Just a little blip. We're going to move on to the next one, and don't just answer the game in the chat. First one to get it. I know there's a delay, so I'll see in a little bit. We'll start seeing some answers come through. Let's go to the next one. Anybody know this one yet in the hosts? You guys know this one yet?
I have a 50%, maybe 60% idea. Not sure.
Let's bust open the next window, and we should see answers coming through in a second. And Willie G, a word dirty gaming, Earthbound. Should I give him it for Earthbound? I think he meant Earthbound, but maybe I should give it to Willie G because he got it right. I think I know. I love you, Wee Dirty Gaming. Oh, PTV's first here. Yeah. Who's PTV? They were first. Good with Earthbound. Excellent. Okay, we have an outright winner. Nobody spelled it wrong. You guys agree it's Earthbound with PTV making the correct answer?
That's what I'm seeing in the chat.
All right, nice job, PTV. Now you're going to have a chance to win a little gift card here. That is Earthbound, guys. No, was that the one you were thinking of, Glenn?
No. I would have gotten it wrong. This one I would have got wrong.
At least you're honest. Okay. So what we have here, guys, is we have a new game. It's going to be Glen's Retro Show playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Okay. And here we go with, there's only 7 questions, and however much money he wins is how much you're going to get, PTV.
Oh,
okay.
Damn it.
Now, Glenn, shut your chat. Don't look at your chat. Shut your chat. You're not getting any help from the chat room. You have 3 lifelines here. You have TurboJoe as a lifeline. You have Show Me Retro, and you have the audience. Now, there's one trick with the audience. There's only 2 questions you can use the audience on, and that's 3 and 5. Okay? So, you can't just ask the audience because I'm not going to let them Google the answer to some of these. Okay? So, are you ready? Any questions on this, Glenn? You've seen Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
I've won this so many times. I have a funny feeling today I'm gonna flub out, but we'll give it a shot.
I didn't want to make TurboJoe or Show Me Retro, on their first, on the first episode on the REXERSHOW to be put on the spot here. So, Here we go. We're going to open the first question. I hope this one's pretty easy. And in the chat, feel free to answer, but I won't show your answers. I won't be showing your answers. So I don't want anybody to see. And you guys need to shut your chat too, TurboJoe. Do not look at the chat because he might ask you as a lifeline, and then somebody in the chat might give you an answer. So no, not show me or Joe. Okay, first question. Who won the first Mortal Kombat? Was it Sonya, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, or Scorpion? And obviously this is the first known Mortal Kombat that we know of.
Liu Kang.
Okay, Liu Kang. I got to get my buzzer here ready for when Glenn goes out on the first question.
Is that your final answer? Glenn, is that your final answer?
I will ask him. Is that your final answer, Glenn?
It was going to be till you said all that. Now you're making me worry. You know what? If I'm an idiot, I'm saying it's Liu Kang.
Liu Kang, final answer. Good job, Glenn. You got it.
You're trying to throw me off, man. Thanks, Rex.
You got the first one. You got the first one. Second question. What was the initial launch price of the Sega Genesis in the US? Was it $99, $149, $189, or $249? And Glenn,
that would be C. That would be C. Rex, my final answer.
C is his final answer. C for $189. Show me C. Got it. $189. Show me. Did you think it was $189? Did the people in the audience think it was $189?
I did because I bought it the reduction at $169. So I remember that $20. I was on board then.
TurboJoe, what do you remember?
I thought it was $249.
Yeah,
but I had got the Genesis like a year after it launched at $189. So I thought maybe that was the reduced price. So I thought $249 was maybe the original.
It was $189 because they gave you Altered Beast, man. It wasn't Sonic. So yeah, like here.
Yeah, it wasn't Sonic.
Beast, take it.
Exactly, it wasn't Sonic.
$149.
Yeah, I thought it was more in the beginning, and the $189 was just a real odd price to me.
It was because usually $190. You would think $199.99, which you would get it for.
Right.
Darn it, Glenn! I was hoping you had to use some lifelines here.
That was the hardest $2 I ever made in my life, just so you know.
So PTV's up to $2. You're making the money for PTV, just so you know. You're making the money for PTV. Okay, this is a Who Am I, Glenn? And all you have to do is answer. This one you can use the audience. You're not going to get any choices on this one. So you can use any lifeline you want. Okay. Who am I? Who am I?
Oh, I know he's in Killer Instinct, but I never played that game. So I'm gonna ask the audience because I've never played.
You're gonna burn me? Yes. Okay. You're gonna ask the audience. Let's wait.
Can I still want to check? I can ask any one of my co-panels.
Yes, your co-panel is in the audience, but all they can do is give an answer. Don't say, "Oh, I know this 100%." All you can do is give an answer of a name. Show me Retro. You are part of the audience. Give an answer.
So right now, Glenn is asking me, or what?
Yes, Glenn's asking you because you're part of the audience, so you get to participate in this.
All right, Glenn. I know this is Killer Instinct. I'm going to get some flack for this, but I don't know his name. It's Killer Instinct. I think it's with an L. I can't remember. I've had a few drinks. I don't remember.
That's my problem too. Like I know of the game. I remember, Ultra 64 being all about this, and I knew it was bullshit that Nintendo was never going to pump the Killer Instinct hardware in the Nintendo 64, so I never played it.
Okay, here we go. Let's go to TurboJoe. What's your answer?
I was thinking...
don't you give me choices?
I'll give you. I'm showing what the audience is writing. I'm showing you. I'm going to show what if you look at the screen, you can see what the audience is writing.
I can look on the screen. Okay.
You can look on the screen, but not. I'll run them back again so you can see them.
Gotcha.
There seems to be a consistency for Jago.
That does seem to be.
But what do you think, TurboJoe?
I'm thinking, my honest opinion was, my first initial reaction was Fulgore or Jago. It's one of the two.
Okay. All right. Both Killer Instinct characters. So, Glenn, what is your final answer?
I didn't get my A, B, C, or D choices, man.
You don't get them in this one.
What?
I told you. You don't get them.
Me. I'm going to go with Jago because that's what everyone seems to be pretty consistent on.
Okay, Jago. You're going to go with ask the audience.
Yeah, man.
Is it
your audience is smart, man. So
okay.
I'm trusting them.
Is it Jago? Good job. Good job. It is Jago. It is Jago. Okay. Going to the next one, Glenn. Here's, let's go over here. We're at, how much have you won for him so far? $3, but you burned your Ask the Audience. So we got to put an X on Ask the Audience.
Well, I never would have got there at all. So thank you, audience. That would have been dead already. So
here's another Who Am I? You will get choices. You will get choices on this one. Who am I? Am I Puka, Frygar, Goomba, or Taizo Hori?
that would be A, Rex. Puka.
Puka. Okay. Puka. Is it Puka? All right, Glenn. We're up to $10 for PTZ. $10 for PTZ. Moving on to the next question. This is another one where you could have asked the audience, and you're not going to get choices, but you already burned your Ask the Audience, so we got to X that one. And all you have to do is name this video game. Name this video game.
Oh, is that Chick Grind Ran? No.
Name this video game. And don't forget, you still have your TurboJoe lifeline and your Show Me Retro lifeline.
Oh, I know this game too, and
I got to put the timer on you.
Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, to me, it's looking. All right, I'm gonna ask one of my. I can ask one of my co-hosts, right?
Yes, and which one? You don't want to. You might not want to burn one if you like their answer, and they can say if I know this 100% or I think it's this. It's like you're calling them. So, go ahead. Go. Which one do you want to use? Oh, let me get rid of that Jago thing. Okay.
Show Me Retro, man. I'm calling you.
Whoops.
I mean, it's a long box PS1, so it was early release.
Nobody cares about when it was released. They just want to know the name of the game.
I know. I was gonna say Jet Moto, but I know it's not Jet Moto. So
that's what I was gonna say.
Well, I don't think that was a long. I can't tell if it's a long box release. I was thinking Jet Moto.
Okay, what do you want to do, Glenn? You have one lifeline left. We just
the call just hung up. The phone just hung up. So
you had your 20 seconds. That was it.
I'm gonna, my instinct was Jet Moto as well. So that is gonna be my final answer.
Okay, let's see. Is it Jet Moto for the game?
Holy
yes.
Cow! Woo! All right.
Jet Moto. Good answer. Good answer. Okay,
man. See, you knew it.
Okay, so here's the deal. You got two more. You're up to $15 for PTV. $15. We go to question 6. This might be an easy one. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what you know. And I think a lot of people in the audience got that, actually, the Jet Moto. Who is the final boss in Bubble Bobble? Is it Super Maida, Super Kumunga, Super Drunk, or Choco?
You actually think I got to the final boss in Bubble Bobble, huh?
I don't. I think you have to get like 100 screens on that. You keep playing the game and you're like, when does this game end? You know? I don't even know. I don't play it that much. But am I right? I don't know. You guys, TurboJoe, you ever play Bubble Bobble?
It's been a long time, but I used to play it often. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Back in
you just keep going screen after screen, and you're like, where's the end of this hole or whatever?
So can I call? Can I call TurboJoe? I'm done with all my phone and friend people. Am I done?
Oh, I'm sorry. You are done except for let me put the X's on because you've asked the audience and you've asked Show Me. So we do have TurboJoe, and says a tough one. Smack says this is a tough one.
But TurboJoe's got such a smile on him. I'm not sure if he's got a buzz going on.
Jacob John Jinglehammer. You don't want to, just like in the real game, you don't want to leave lifelines on the line.
I don't. So
I've never made it all the way to level 100 because that goes for a couple hours of gameplay. I would think
it's a long, it gets tiresome.
My thought was B.
Actually, that's what I was thinking. Judging by Taito and what Japanese company and what they would name their final boss, I was thinking the same thing. B, Super Kumanga.
All right, that is going to be Rex. I'm going to go with B as my final answer if I can.
Fine. Okay. Show me Retro. Do you know the answer? I'm just curious.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to lie. I don't know.
Okay. We'll see. Glenn, to move on to the next level and get PTV $20, $20 of an Amazon gift card. Is it B, Super Kumanga? Oh man, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Does anybody know it? There was some people who got it right. People thought Super Mida. That's good. People aren't Googling it. I'm glad that they're trying. But here we go right here. Super Drunk, John Jacob Jinglehammer. I play every day. And that is the answer. Super Drunk.
Super Drunk?
Yeah. Should we show...
That is me right now. That's me right now. I'm super drunk.
It was Super Drunk. It was Super Drunk. Wow. I thought you guys. I thought that might ring a bell. I would have never got it because I like TurboJoe said. I played it.
I play it.
I never got to him.
No.
Do you guys want to do the last question just for fun?
Yeah, let's just go for it. Why
okay. This is a name this game character. Glenn, you can go first. Name who this is. Is it Tyrog, Bludge, Blanca, or P-Dubs?
That's P-Dubs. No question. It's D. Final answer.
Oh, I had to do that to P-Dubs. I love him so much. I wish you would have made it to 7 and we could have done that. It's P-Dubs' final answer. All right, but Glenn, seriously, who do you think this is?
I think it's C.
You think it's Blanca?
Yeah.
Show me Retro.
I would agree with that. It's C.
Okay, TurboJoe.
I don't remember Blanca having a tail. I am a big Street Fighter 2 fan. I don't recall Blanca having a tail, though, bro.
Well, you tell me then. Then don't pick Blanca. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know the other people. I'll be guessing Bludge.
You're guessing Bludge.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here, let me do it for all three of you each individually. Glenn's answer was, Glenn's and Show Me's was Blanca. We'll see if it's right. Is it Blanca? No.
Oh, what? It was P-Dubs. We should have said D.
It was. Whoops.
That's Blanca.
That is Bludge. And TurboJoe had it right. That is Bludge from Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. And if you've watched my show long ago, I did a trivia on this one as a trick. Bludge was in Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Don't you guys remember Bludge? Of course you wouldn't. I wouldn't either. But I had to do do a little trick question on 7. You couldn't have thought 7 was going to be that easy. But TurboJoe, I think he was spot on with that, where he was saying, I don't remember Blanca having a tail, right?
I'm a human.
I didn't think it was a tail anyway. I thought he had a date.
Yeah. So, oh, yeah, I don't think it's Blanca, said Smacks. A lot of people thought it was P-Dubs. P-Dubs, if you watch this, I got a rib on you a little bit. There's only you that could have took this little joke, but here's Deputy Van Halen. Oh, what did he say here? Sorry. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. What does that mean? Sounds like Cleveland. I don't get that one. But P-Dubs at the II arcade party when he was drunk.
Hey, we got $15. We got $15 for him.
We got him $15, and PTV send an email to the REXERSHOW, at gmail.com, the REXERSHOW at gmail.com, and I'll send you that Amazon gift card. Okay, guys, I got 1 minute. All right, Show Me Retro, final thoughts of anything on this show. Did we miss anything?
I don't think so. I think the OutRun was the big topic here, and I think there's way more discussion to be had with that. And I love arcade racers, but I'm chomping at the bit to get one. But to me, this is like you don't buy the first car from a new model year. You wait till the next year. And I think that this one is going to be like a trial run. I think Daytona, say it comes out in 2022, which I predicted in a video that I did, June of 2022. I think Daytona will happen. I called it. That's what I'm looking forward to. I think this is the trial run, and Daytona will be kind of like the big one. They'll get that one right.
Yeah. And go watch his Show Me Retros video on the Arcade 1-Up PartyCade. It's pretty good. TurboJoe, any final thoughts? And I'm going to give you a plug. Go to TurboJoe, watch the show. It's not PG, guys. It's not PG. Don't put the volume on when your kids are around. It's not a PG channel. You're gonna be like, Rex, what the hell is this channel? And it'll grow on you. Let's just say that. It'll grow on you.
Well, I don't know. As far as the 1-Up cabinets, I'm still gonna be waiting for my special cabinet. I don't think I'm gonna be buying one anytime soon. But the Star Wars pinball one is definitely, for me, I think that's gonna be my first entry into the 1-Up cabinets. I'm definitely gonna be either pre-ordering it or getting it after Christmas.
Yeah.
But
okay. All right. Good enough.
I like
Glen?
the next one though, but I don't think you can even get that right now because I don't know if they're available yet.
Which one? The next which one?
The Golden Axe one. That's
the Golden Axe with Revenge of Death Era. That's out, but I don't know if it's sold out or anything.
It's sold out. That is sold out.
You can't get it right now. Yeah.
I can't believe they sell out on a lot of these. Okay. Glenn, you can even help and answer this question. Will they ever do a Cruisin' USA? Is that Midway or Nintendo? It's not Nintendo.
No, the Cruisin' USA was Midway.
Okay.
Who owns them now, though? Because it's not on Midway. Maybe sold to Konami. Someone else owns it now, but it's not Nintendo. I know that.
Yeah. Okay. Any closing thoughts? Do you want to sell your yoke or your?
Well, no. I mean, the yoke's on me. It's out. People are getting it, but I just want to say something I tell you every show, that Rex puts on the best show currently on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to this guy or any of these guys, it's a disservice. Subscribe to these guys, especially Rex. He puts on a fantastic show every time he's on. Huge fan.
Let me say this, and show me, you said it too, Who Wants to Be, of all the things I've done, and I've done a lot of different type of trivia and different type, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire seems to be pretty fun over the other ones. What do you think, Glenn, since you participated?
You know what? I really like the Family Feud style myself, but because I'm kind of stupid,
So you like the Family Feud and the last fighter standing? Those are pretty fun.
Those are the ones I did like. This one was nice, but since I didn't win this one, I won the other ones. I like the others better.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, guys, I want to thank everybody for joining. I want to thank everybody for watching, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully in 2 weeks I'll be back. God willing, right, as we say, and go check these guys out on YouTube, guys. Thanks for watching. See you later.